seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, guys? Clutch Entertainment here, back in another video. And for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Houston Texans. I'm going to be talking about one potential player that the Houston Texans could look to explore, whether that be in a trade or whether that be in free agency next year. But whether or not this player will eventually probably become available, and this player is Tampa Bay Buccaneer receiver Mike Evans. And as we know, Mike Evans went to college at Texas A&M. He's from Texas, so he knows the area. It's kind of his home pretty much, so I'm sure he wouldn't be against the idea of coming back to Texas. But this video is more so of, should the Texans pursue him? And if so, should they look to do it in a trade? Should they look to do it in free agency? And it's been rumored that the Buccaneers really don't want to trade him right now, but it would really help their cap implications. I believe it would save them like $14 million if they do a post-June 1st trade for him. And saving $14 million in cap nowadays in the NFL, it's not the easiest thing to do, especially just on one player. And especially not an old player, but an older player that doesn't really fit their rebuild. I guess you could say the same thing for us because we're still technically in a rebuild. So getting an older guy like that wouldn't necessarily help us either. But considering that we actually have a hopeful franchise quarterback, a young guy that we have a ton of faith in compared to the Bucs, who really don't. I mean, Kyle Trask, you really don't believe in him. At least you shouldn't. Baker Mayfield, I mean, he is what he is already. So the Texans' game plan should be getting as much talent as possible around C.J. Stroud and getting a receiver like Mike Evans, who, when healthy, which has been one thing of concern for him, he does have some lingering hamstring issues, or I think it's hamstring or something like that. Something on his leg, his thigh, hamstring. And as Houston fans, we all have bad memories with hamstrings. Chris Paul, Will Fuller, Arian Foster. So hamstrings aren't the best thing for Houston sports fans' memories. But having a guy like that, who's undoubtedly a number one receiver and undoubtedly would be our number one receiver, a big body guy, a trustworthy guy who's been able to do it for I think 8+ seasons already in the NFL. Let's see. He started in 2014. So 2014, he had over 1,000 yards. 2015, over 1,000 yards. 2016, over 1,000 yards. He's had over 1,000 yards in each one of his seasons in his whole career. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's played 9 NFL seasons. He will be going into his 10th season this season. And he's had over 1,000 yards in every one of those seasons. His biggest season was actually in 2018. I believe that was the Jameis year. I want to say that's the Jameis year. We had like 30 and 30. He had 1,500 total yards receiving that year with 17.7 yards per catch, which is insane. I mean, that's crazy. And in 2021, he had 14 total touchdown receptions. And that's almost averaging out to 1 touchdown a game. That's off by I think 2-3 games. So he had 14 total touchdowns in 2021. I mean, that's as much as you can ask for a receiver, especially a number one receiver. So adding a guy like Mike Evans, yes, he's 29. He isn't the youngest of guys. He wouldn't be here for the long run. He probably has maybe a good, I want to say 3-4 years at best left of him, which isn't the worst thing. It's more so of a thing, would he want to come to Houston and play for a team that's not going to be a contender right away? Probably won't be a contender until that age, like 32, 33, when it's starting to get older, starting to get slower, probably more lingering hamstring issues or injury concerns. So it's one thing for him. Would he want to come here? Again, it is his home over here, close to around here. So maybe that's a factor. But would he want to go ring chase, or would he just want to get paid already and just have his career? He already has a ring with Tom Brady. So, I mean, he already has that part figured out. So would he want to come to a rebuilding team, help them build something special, be a young quarterback's favorite target, new target, build chemistry with him, come back home while doing it and getting paid? That sounds like a dream scenario for him. Also with the ability or potential to be a contender in a few years, couple years, and it's not going to be that long until we're actually contending in the playoffs at least. So it's not the worst thing for him. But again, the Buccaneers, they've been rumored to not want to trade him. I guess we'll have to see about that come post-June 1st. And if they don't trade him, then, I mean, if they don't give him another deal, he's going to be a free agent again next year. So in 2024. So we'll see how that goes. But Mike Evans, I think he'll be an interesting addition. He'll be a great addition, actually. If we were to trade for him, I don't think it would cost that much either. I don't think it would be anything more than a third, taking into account for his age. He needs a new contract, maybe even less. We saw Amari Cooper. Yes, he was on a big deal, and the Cowboys were trying to just get off of that deal. But maybe we can see something like that, maybe like a 4th rounder or something like that. But yeah, he'd come in here being that number 1 receiver, maybe helping Nico Collins a little bit, showing him some pointers, how to use his body more. They're both similar. I don't want to say similar style receivers, but they have similar builds, similar build, similar speed, similar size and everything. So maybe it can help him out. But yeah, he would immensely help CJ Stroud. He would immensely help this offense. Be that big body, true number 1. And I think he would be great. Oh, and also, all of those stats, he's now had over 1,000 yards in each one of his seasons in the NFL. He has been hurt numerous times, as I said, through those years. And for him to still be able to put up 1,000 yards for all those years, I think that's crazy. I mean, this is consistency at his best. That's eliteness at his best. I feel like he's a top 10 receiver, probably maybe like in that 7 to 8 range. But yeah, what do you guys think about potentially adding a guy like Mike Evans? Probably wouldn't cost too much if you want to trade for him. And if he was to hit free agency next year, it probably wouldn't cost that much either. I mean, he would definitely take a pretty penny from your bank account. But I don't think he would ask for like top 5 receiver money, because he knows he's already getting up there in age. Maybe he does want to get that bag before he does eventually hang it up. But I don't think he would ask for that much. But yeah, what do you guys think about potentially adding Mike Evans to the Texans offense? Let me know down below in the comments. It's been Clutch City Entertainment, and hope you guys have a good day. Peace.